And also, educating them, because so many, especially young artists, come from having only known this technology and knowing that you don't have to get better because you can fix the better through the technology, as compared to putting it down to where you don't need to fix it. And it's hard. Like when I'm in the studio with young artists, like the last thing I would ever do is say, you should have been there when it was analog.
Yeah.
Because you sound like grandpa, you sound like an old fart who's like talking about it. But if younger artists come to, when we're working and they say, what was it like with tape? Then I'm happy to talk about it, but they need to open the door to it. And, and certainly with the quality of, engineers and stuff, the digital technologies, there's some beautiful sounding records that are all cut that way. It's not like the early days when it really was a little sterile and mechanical. I don't, it sits on the lap to me, pretty much on the engineer's lap at the end of the day. I always look at the engineer is if you got 5 guys in the room, you got 6 guys in the band, because the engineer is always a part of that, because without them, it doesn't matter what you're playing in the room. There's so many times where I've, hear stuff in the phones and we're playing, and then you go listen to a playback and you go, what happened? But the other times where you walk in and you go, oh man, this sounds fantastic.
And from my perspective as an engineer, I'm only as good as you guys.
Yeah. So, it's a very symbiotic relationship, and the production seat is a whole other discussion. But that relationship between musicians and engineer is really, to me, what it's all about. If you can translate through the engineer what the band's doing and make it there, then you've got music. And I appreciate that, and I never hesitate to tell engineers when we're working, that sounds great, man, or can we tweak this? And 90% of engineers aren't on an ego trip about, hey man, that's my
sound.
Yeah.